The Conqueror died mid-sentence. He was sitting at the painted table on Dragonstone, that great carved map of Westeros, telling his grandson's tales of the Conquest. Then his hand slipped from the table. His eyes went dark, and the most powerful man the world had ever known was gone. What he left behind were 2 sons, one who was kind and one who was cruel. And between them, they would nearly destroy everything their father had built. Welcome to Westeros Within, where we journey into forgotten ages, hidden legends, and ancient mysteries. This is Blood of the Dragon, Episode 1, The Sons Aegon Left Behind, When Kindness Was Weakness. Aenys was born on Dragonstone, the firstborn son of Aegon the Conqueror and his beloved queen, Rhaenys. But from the beginning, something seemed wrong. The boy was small, sickly, weak in body and spirit. He refused to nurse from anyone but his mother, screaming and thrashing until Rhaenys herself held him. Whispers spread through the court that perhaps Aenys was not truly Aegon's son at all. Rhaenys, after all, was said to enjoy the company of singers and young knights on the nights her husband did not visit her. But then a dragon chose him. A pale hatchling called Quicksilver was placed in his cradle, and something changed. As the dragon grew, so did Aenys. The sickly child became a healthy boy, and the whispers began to fade. Because in those days, dragons did not choose common blood. When Aenys was 3, his mother flew to Dawn on her dragon, Meraxes. A scorpion bolt took them both from the sky. The little prince, they say, stopped walking. He crawled on all fours again, as if some part of him believed he could return to the age before he lost her. He would grow out of it. He would marry a Valyrian bride named Alyssa. He would have 6 children. But that shattered boy never truly left him. His half-brother Maegor was everything Aenys was not. Born to Visenya, Aegon's elder wife, the one he married out of duty, not desire. Maegor was large, powerful, and frightening from the start. His mother placed a sword in his hands at the age of 3. The first thing he did was kill one of the castle cats. He stabbed a horse that kicked him and slashed the face of the stable boy who tried to stop him. He kept to himself. He spoke little, and the only thing he ever seemed to love was violence. At 16, Maegor rode into a tourney and unhorsed 3 knights of the Kingsguard. His father knighted him on the field, the youngest knight in the realm. And when young lords across Dragonstone bonded with hatchling dragons, Maegor refused them all. He was waiting. He would accept only one, Balerion the Black Dread, his father's mount, nothing less. When Aegon died, Aenys was 30 and away on a royal progress. He flew home on Quicksilver, buried his father, and took the crown. The realm began to crack almost at once. 4 rebellions erupted at once. A bandit calling himself Harren the Red seized Harrenhal and castrated its lord in the Godswood. In the Vale, Jonos Arryn threw his own brother through the moon door. On the Iron Islands, a false prophet gathered thousands of followers. And in the Dornish marches, an outlaw styling himself the Vulture King raised an army said to be the largest uprising since the Conquest itself. And how did the new king answer? He considered sending messengers to ask the rebels why they had rebelled. It was Maegor who flew to the Eyrie on Balerion and hanged the traitors. It was the lords of the realm who crushed the rest. Aenys waited, and when the blood was mopped up, he handed out rewards with a generous smile. Then he made a fatal mistake. He gave Maegor their father's sword, Blackfyre, the ancestral blade of the Conqueror, the very symbol of Targaryen kingship. Aenys called his brother the warrior of the 2. the one more fit to bear it. Visenya, watching from the shadows, said what many in the realm were already thinking. By giving away that sword, she declared, Aenys had admitted he lacked the strength to rule. For a time, the brothers worked side by side, but Maegor's appetites could not be contained. When his first wife bore him no children, he took a second, Alis Harroway, in a Valyrian ceremony that Visenya herself performed. No Septon would touch it. The Faith called it sin. The High Septon called Alis a whore. Aenys, caught between his brother and the Faith, chose neither courage nor conviction. He exiled Maegor to Pentos. Maegor went, but he took Balerion, and he took Blackfyre. And when Aenys ordered the sword returned, Maegor refused. By then, the balance had already begun to change, and the king had no strength left to reclaim it. Then Aenys shattered the fragile peace entirely. He wed his eldest son Aegon to his eldest daughter Rhaenys, brother to sister, the one line the Faith had warned the Targaryens never to cross. The High Septon answered with a letter. It was addressed to King Abomination. Across the realm, the Faith Militant rose. An order called the Warrior Sons fortified their sept on the hill of Rhaenys. Thousands of poor fellows prowled the roads with 7-pointed stars carved into their flesh. The Septon who had performed the royal wedding was hacked to pieces in the street. And zealots scaled the walls of the unfinished Red Keep, nearly reaching the king and his family before a knight of the Kingsguard cut them down. Visenya told Aenys to take his dragons and bring fire and blood upon the septs. Burn them, she said. Burn them all. But Aenys could not do it. He was a gentle man in a brutal age. And gentle men do not burn temples. So he fled. He took his family and abandoned King's Landing for the ancient fortress of Dragonstone. And there, the crown consumed what was left of him. His body failed, cramps, fever, wasting. At 35, they say he looked like a man of 60. 5 years of rule had aged him beyond recognition. Visenya offered to care for him, and under her hand, he seemed to improve for a time. Then word reached Dragonstone that his children were besieged at Kralkhall, surrounded by enemies with no rescue coming. Aenys collapsed. 3 days later, the gentle king was dead. Some say the grief killed him. Others, and their whispers only grew louder with the years, said Visenya had poisoned him, that she had nursed him only to finish what weakness had begun, that she had always meant for her own son to wear the crown. The truth died with her, but what she did next left little doubt about what she wanted. Visenya, 70 years old, silver-haired and fierce as the day she rode Vhagar over the Conquest, mounted her dragon and flew alone across the narrow sea to Pentos. She found her son and told him the throne was waiting. Maegor flew back on Balerion the Black Dread, mother and son. Vhagar and Balerion, 2 of the 3 Conquest dragons, darkening the sky together for the last time. He was crowned on Dragonstone, not with his brother's golden crown, but with his father's, the plain circlet of Valyrian steel and rubies that Aegon the Conqueror had worn. He carried his father's sword. He rode his father's dragon. And when the Grand Maester protested that the crown rightfully belonged to Aenys' children, Maegor drew Blackfyre and took his head. That was his first act as king. He would not be the gentle brother. He would not send messengers. He would not flee. He would burn. So tell me this. Do you believe Visenya poisoned Aenys, or did the weight of the crown break him on its own? Write it in the comments. And if you want to see what happened when the cruelest king Westeros had ever known sat the Iron Throne, subscribe to Westeros Within and join me for the next chapter. Because next time, we follow Maegor into the flames. A reign of terror, 6 wives, a kingdom at war, and a death on the Iron Throne itself, alone in the dark, with a sword through his neck.